So welcome, everyone. Welcome to those who come a bit late. I was just saying, no matter what time we advertise to start, people always come late. I came at 8:30 thinking it was 9, so that's very unusual. For those who don't know me, I'm known as Sunim. Sunim is a word in the Korean tradition, which I'm part of, which is a form of address to monk or nun. So I use this particularly because Australians find it very hard to pronounce or bother to try and pronounce longer, difficult names. So my full name is Bom Hyon Sunim, but Sunim is quite adequate. So, as I said, I belong to the Korean Zen tradition. That's my practice tradition, and I live in the Korean temple in Belfield. And I'm very happy to have the opportunity really to share my practice tradition with you, because I actually do a lot of teaching and a lot of different kind of facilitation in the Buddhist community and other communities. But I don't very often get the opportunity really to just offer my the integral practice of my tradition. So I'm very happy to do that today. And I want just first of all for us just to introduce ourselves one by one, just very simply, just so we have that opportunity to meet. And then I'll just explain a little bit about today's program before we move into the main part of the program, which will be paying respect to the Bodhi Ahm Sangha and then doing a dedication to the Buddha of the Four Directions. So can we start perhaps with you?
Yeah, my name is David. I've been meditating for nearly 20 years, but I'm not really familiar with the Zen tradition or the Korean tradition, so hopefully can find out more.
Thank you.
My name is also David.
What?
David.
David.
So just recently read the book, and a few times it was mentioned about Zen, so I went to check it out what it is.
Good. Thank you. Someone else like to introduce?
Oh, hi, good morning. I'm Kay. I'm not familiar with Korean Zen. Normally, I practice according to the Theravada. But I like to
It's not
explore
sure
today. Yeah.
Experience
No,
it.
no. Seems interesting, the art of pausing. So. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Annie, and I just started lately.
Okay, thanks, Annie.
Francis, and I'm not a true meditator.
Oh, please.
Oh, sorry.
My name is Peter. I'm come to Metta Center for a year now. I'm familiar to some Theravada and Zen, and here to learn more about Korean Zen. Thank you.
My name's Sue, and I just came to learn about Zen fourth meditation.
Thank you.
And my name is Tina, and the intention of opening this space was to facilitate students like ourselves where we can come and experience all of the traditions. So here at Metta Centre, not only can we learn about Theravada and Zen tradition, but also Mahayana and other traditions as well. So you're all most welcome.
Thank you very much. So I should clarify that I'm not actually going to be teaching specifically the Korean Zen form today. Because Zen has a common base. It comes originally from China, known as Chan. Then it was transmitted to Korea, where it became Son, and then to Japan, where it became Zen. But because the Japanese were the first to get out to the West, we all call it Zen. So it has a common root and many commonalities, but there are differences particularly in our object of meditation, and some of the the teachings that surround the way we practice, but we're not really going to touch on that today. That's, we've got a few hours, and what I really wanted to do was to give you an experience rather than to talk about it. Because Zen really is not about speech and words, it's about direct experience. And we say, Zen is life, Zen is every day. So it's about, how you keep your mind in every moment. And so today I want to use some different practice formats. And these formats are not necessarily ones that we use every day in our Zen practice, but I want to give you some opportunity to move between some different styles, because what I'd like to give you the opportunity to do today is to let go of the thinking mind, not worry too much about trying to understand, but just allowing yourself to come into this singular mind-body-breath connection, to come into this one you, one me. And so we'll do various practices that can help us do that. We'll work with breath, we'll work with sitting, walking, meditation, we'll work with some movement, intentional movement, we'll work with sound and breath, and we'll also work with some hand gestures, mudras. And so all of these things really I just want to use as a way of just bringing the mind, letting this mind go that has to understand it and know exactly what we're doing now and what's coming next, and just follow. In the Zen tradition, we don't talk very much, in our practice. We use a lot of things like, this is one that we use, which is a way of just orienting us to different actions. So, for example, when we're meditating, this would be used to indicate to sit, to stand, to begin walking, etc. So we don't have to go through endless explanations. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing next. This is what, etc. So this, I'm using this bowl, which is not traditional for us, but I'm using it to be a little bit more gentle for some of the sessions, and it is very beautiful, and people really like it. So I'll use that. We also use a little bell, which I'll just use in one of the beginning dedications. And there is another instrument I didn't bring today, which is we call the moktak, which is a kind of it's an instrument that we use with chanting. It's like a kind of, how do you describe it?
We have one.
Have you got one?
Yeah, mockfish, right?
Yeah, mockfish, but it's smaller than that. So we use that to accompany the chanting, just again to indicate to people when to sit, when to stand, when to bow, and etc. So this is a very big one. We use this striker like this. Mahabanya Marabuta Shingyam. That's just an example. Okay, so let's start. We're all going to just stand up and just going to pay our respects to the Buddha. And then we're going to do this dedication, our practice to the four directions. So just have that handy, but not worry too much at the moment. We'll just first of all...
Yes, we do. Yeah.
This, maybe,
Pass this away.
I'm just going to light some incense. Did you work out what the directions were yet?
Yeah.
Tina? Where north, south, east, west is?
I think you're to the southwest.
Hmm?
Is that southwest?
Southwest? Yes, south.
South that way.
What are we starting with? East. Where is east?
There.
East? West?
Yeah.
I'm hopeless. I'm dyslexic.
South.
South? North?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just watch you. Okay, so just to introduce you to these people who haven't had experience before in a Buddhist context. So generally, most traditions we offer to the Buddha on a shrine, an altar. We offer light. We offer incense, fragrance, and we offer water, which I don't have today. And often we'll have flowers too. So we set the altar up in that way. And I'm just going to do a little bit of short chanting, which is to pay respect to Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. And then we'll move on to that next one together. Namo Jong Namo Now we're going to read this together as we turn to each of the four directions. Where did you say east is? East?
Yep.
We'll trust you. Okay, so I'm just going to read the first line of these, and then you can come in after that. We turn to the east. It is the spring of our life. Together, with each sunrise that heralds the dawning of a new day, we seek guidance and illumination to see clearly who we are in relation to the One. We focus on the seeds of new life growing within us and pray that our relationship with the One, the Earth, be nourishing and fruitful. May it deepen our relationship with all beings by restoring harmony in our life. So? Mm-hmm. We turn our attention to the south, to the autumn of our life. It is this time when Mother Nature displays her brilliant colours. Just before the fall of the leaves, we focus on our inner journey, pondering how we can be sensitive and respectful towards others. We cast off feelings that are preventing us from being at one with the land, being at peace with the One, with ourselves, with all beings. We show kindness and compassion to those in need, setting aside any strong negative feelings that prevent us from serving others. We turn westwards to the place of the setting sun. We focus on the physical care of our bodies and on the rhythm of our life. Day disappears and night sets in. It's dark and cold, and we can easily be discouraged by the mood of the season, be more susceptible to illness in our thoughts and bodies at this time. We show compassion to those on the edge and consideration for the physical struggles they endure. We are grateful for the gift of life we have been given. We turn to the north, focus on thought and intellectual growth. This is the summer of our life, a time when we are asked to put into action the learning and wisdom we have received from parents, elders and teachers. We discern right from wrong, liberating ourselves from burden of ignorance. We soften barriers that prevent us from being free to love and forgive. We open our mind and heart to the needs of others, letting new insights about ourselves lead us to a balanced life in harmony with one, with all. We bow to each other. Okay. Let's see what I've got planned next. So just before we move into the next part, which is we're going to do some walking meditation, and then we're going to do a sitting, or if people want to, a lying down meditation, which is a meditation about letting our body and mind be supported by the earth. So I think not so easy to walk in here, is it? We might need just to move the chairs in a little bit. But before we do that, I just want to ask: is there? Welcome. Do you have any questions or anything you want to, just ask for some understanding of at this time? Okay. So we're going to move into the walking meditation. And then we're going to move, with as little talking as possible, straight into the sitting or lying down meditation. If you want to lie down, there are yoga mats. We'll open the cupboards and you can take up the yoga mats and you can lie on the floor, or you can sit for that one. So I'm just going to use this as a way of indicating, when you hear this, if you're sitting, stand. If you're standing at the beginning, then when I hit it again, it means we begin to walk. When I hit it again, it means we stop walking. So you get the idea very quickly. Okay, so we'll begin.